For episode 5 of season 3, we will be featuring stories in conjunction with our annual Soy and Tofu Festival to be held June 22nd at the Event Center at St. Mary's Cathedral. In this episode, we will be focusing on stories surrounding our festival, as well as a certain historical mural in Sacramento. For our pastry selection, we'll be serving a preview on some new and interesting things from this year's Soy and Tofu Festival. Our salad selection will consist of an inspiring story of a mural that remembers the original Japantown in Sacramento. For our chef special, we get an opportunity to learn more about the health benefits of tofu. For dessert, our resident master chef at the Nichi Bei office, Kota will show you how to make a Mabo tofu with a non-meat twist. And stick around to be treated to some news bites of happenings in our Japanese and Japanese American community. And finally, we end the program tonight with tips of events that are coming up in the next month and beyond. So without further delay, let's start the cafe. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us and welcome back to episode 5 of season 3 of the Nichi Bei Cafe. As always, another season of this show is brought to you by the Nichi Bei Foundation and Nichi Bei News through the benevolence of the Henry and Tomoya Takahashi Charitable Foundation. If you enjoy what we're doing here at the cafe, please be sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button on YouTube and follow us on Facebook so you can be notified when new content hits our channel. Starting off with our pastry selection tonight, we serve up some sweets with volunteers who are taking lead organizing roles in this year's Soy and Tofu Festival. They share some new things in the works for Festival Day.
I've joined this group called Nakayoshi, and that's where I come out and then get involved with the community by doing volunteer work and organizing social events. And through that, I had the pleasure of volunteering for the Soy and Tofu Festival for many, many years. And this year I had the pleasure of seeing through the first initial festival kickoff meeting. And we were brainstorming for new ideas, and I raised my hand and said, why don't we do something different, such as an art contest? And that's how the conversation started, and we decided to focus on youth art. We wanted this contest to give kids the opportunity to learn about soy and tofu through art, through drawing. And we always think art contests or any art event encourages kids to show their creativity, and it's just a fun way to express yourself through drawing. Idea also was inspired by an community art event I went to down in San Jose. And there were many community art pieces featured, including by high school kids and middle school kids. And I looked at that, and I myself was very inspired by those artwork. And that actually gave me a reason to take art classes myself. And because of these youth art, inspired me to say, you know what, it's never too late to express yourself and practice art. And therefore, I want to thank the youth art for giving me this new passion that I'm so happy at pursuing right now. And therefore, I wanted to have not just the kids, but also everybody in the community to experience that. And that's why I'm really happy to work with the Nichi Bei Foundation and have this youth art gallery for everyone to visit on Festival Day. So we received a total of 72 entries this year for an inaugural contest. I think that's really fantastic. And we are so happy to see submissions from not just California, but from 11 other states. So we were really blown away by not just the amount of people and the regions that we received submissions from, but the work we saw. We just had so much passion. And you could tell they had so much fun, and they put a lot of effort into it. We can't wait for you to see all those artwork.
Hi, my name is Katie Furukawa Bonifacio, and I'm this year's vendor coordinator for the Soy and Tofu Festival. We're super excited for this year. We have several new vendors and several returning vendors in both our food and merchandise categories. Making their debut this year in the food section, we have Adelitas Antojitos, and they'll be serving soy pupusas. We have the Konko Church, and they will be serving Impossible teriyaki burgers this year. We also have several other local organizations that will be participating as food booths, including Pine United Methodist Church, which will be serving Impossible wafu dogs. Buddhist Church of San Francisco will be serving Impossible curry bowls. And we will have the Cherry Blossom alumni serving Hiyayako tofu, which will be made from tofu that is from Gombe in San Jose. And of course, we will have the Nichi Bei Cafe. They will be serving Impossible Mabo tofu and inari sushi. Returning for the first time in a few years will be Jade Chocolates, and they will have, in addition to their normal amazing chocolate selection, some miso caramels made just for the festival, and Nombe, which will be serving their original shoyu ramen burger. We also have several dessert vendors who will be joining us, including Uji Time, which will have tofu soft serve and tofu pudding. Mume Farms will have tofu donuts. And the Pop Nation will be serving soy and fruit popsicles, which are always great on our warm, sunny days. In our arts and crafts section, we're gonna have about 20 vendors, and they are all local artists and craftspeople from around the Bay Area. You'll be able to find original artwork, home goods, accessories, jewelry, and apparel, and a lot of it will have a theme or connection to all of the fun things that are related to tofu and food and the scene in Japantown. I really hope that you can come out on Saturday, June 22nd to the Northern California Soy and Tofu Festival, which will be held at the St. Mary's Event Center, 2 blocks from Japantown.
Please join us in celebrating the joy of soy at our 12th Northern California Soy and Tofu Festival. This free-to-enter event runs from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday, June 22nd at the Event Center in St. Mary's Cathedral, located at 1111 Gough Street near San Francisco's Japantown. There will be a free shuttle between the Japantown Peace Plaza and the Event Center throughout the day. The festival will feature soy and tofu vendors, artisan vendors, audience participation games, a new youth art contest, cooking demonstrations, tofu making workshops, and lots of free samples as well. You can catch live performances from Sacramento Taikodan, Kulin Taiko, K-pop dance group Eclipse, the Ji Young Lion and Dragon Dance Association, and more. And be sure not to miss our raffle with a grand prize of $1,500. For more information, please go to www.soyandtofufest.org. Proceeds to benefit the Nichi Bei Foundation, publishers of the nonprofit Japanese-American community newspaper, the Nichi Bei News. Partial proceeds benefit the Nikkei Community Internship Program and Japantown Youth Leaders Program administered by the Japanese Community Youth Council. Special thanks to Natsumi and Katie for giving us the lowdown on the new things to see at this year's festival. It's now time for our salad. Our executive producer Kenji Taguma and producer Greg Valoria head to Sacramento to attend the unveiling of a mural paying homage to Sacramento's Japantown of the past. Please enjoy our salad mix today.
Japanese Americans in Sacramento created a mural to honor the historic Japantown. This is their story.
So I'd say the mission is about providing information and helping the community to remember what Sacramento Japantown was. And this mural is actually intended to have 3 different views to it. One is the drive-by view. So all of these cars that are going on Capitol Mall right here, they can see in big bold letters, Sacramento Japantown, right? It's there for them to see. Some of them may be curious and go, oh, what is that, right? I'm gonna park my car and go take a look, right? So then they get out, they walk the wall, they see the different vignettes that we have on the boards here. And then they can be even further informed by just clicking on the QR code there, which will then take them to our website. Then they get the whole exhaustive history of what was there.
The artist, Karen Sugawa, discusses her role in creating the mural.
Yeah, so I was introduced to like the Reclaim Sacramento Japantown group actually by a friend. I had gone to school at SJSU, and over there got pretty involved in like the Japanese American community over there, and then because they also have their Japantown, and I'd gone to connected in a project called Hidden Histories, which had gone over like Chinatown, Japantown, Pinoy Town, the AR. Shout out to that project, was like very cool group that handled that project. And my friend, also shout out to Melia Saito, I'd met her via another friend, and we connected because we're both Chinese Japanese and we're both Yonsei generation. And then she recommended me, introduced me to Michelle Huey like a while ago, and was like, hey, this might be like an interesting project. I know she wants to do like a public art project, and that was all I knew, was that there was a public art project somewhere in Sac. And so I was like, okay, cool. And then later Michelle connected me, is like, hey, we're actually interested in doing a mural. This is where it's gonna be. Are you interested in doing this and depicting the history of the Sacramento Japantown? And I was like, okay, cool. At the time I didn't even know that there had been a Japantown in Sacramento. This was like a few months ago even. And so thanks to her and the group, I like was introduced to the group more formally, talked with them, and then I was given some books and I did my own research. Initially, I was thinking of several things. One was a stylization that could showcase the historical photographs, but obviously these historical photos are sepia colored or the black and white, so they don't necessarily showcase color, which doesn't necessarily not show liveliness, but I was like, color really brings that in and helps attract people's eyes, especially, right, this is being seen from off of 4th and Capitol. If I'm gonna try to attract someone to look at it and wanna even second guess or like take a look at the history, even try to learn more, the best way to grab them is with a punchy image in color. And then I was like, oh, the Hanafuda cards are like really graphic. They have striking colors. They feel very quintessential Japanese, but also somehow still modern, but they're also set in time. And I thought, you know, not everyone has to understand that, but then the people who understand will really connect. So that was also my reason.
Karen credits the community in making this mural a reality.
For me, the community's been, I talked about a little with some friends, like as vital as the paint. Like that is so important to me. I didn't see a point of doing it without the community. Like aside from the Hanafuda concept, that was the next thing. I was like, I can't imagine this being done without the community, like their input, their say. Like I have no interest in creating a mural that isn't for the community and loved by it, because this is their history. This isn't necessarily, while this is a part of the family history, I didn't live through this experience. I feel the repercussions of it and the generational trauma and impact from it, and also hopefully now like the healing.
So one of the things that we wanted to do was, we realized that we could talk about Sacramento Japantown, we could create documentaries, we could write articles, we could come up with all different kinds of ways, and all that is really good, right? So getting the word out. But there's something else, which is just a mural, which is public art. So it's artwork, but it's also shared with the public, right? So we believe that we're gonna have incidental contact with the public just by having the mural here. And also with it being, what, 4 blocks from the Capitol, right? Every county official, every city official, every state official will at some point drive by here. They're gonna think, hey, what's this, right? Oh, Sacramento Japantown was once here. Who knows what's gonna happen?
You can donate to the mural through the Florin Japanese American Citizens League. This is Greg Valoria for Kenji Taguma for the Nichi Bei Cafe.
A big thank you to our muralist, Karen Sugawa, and Jim Tabuchi of Reclaim Sacramento Japantown for the interview. It's great to see that Sacramento's Japantown is still thriving. All right, guys, it's time for the chef special. We interview Min Tsai of Horo Soy, who speaks to the health benefits of tofu. Please enjoy our chef special. Itadakimasu.
This month marks the coming of the annual Soy and Tofu Festival in San Francisco, Japantown, and we visit with Min Tsai of Hodo Foods to talk about tofu.
How I ended up starting this business was because I grew up in Vietnam, and I have ethnic Chinese descent as well. So just like a lot of Southeast Asian and East Asian countries, there's a lot of mom and pop tofu shops in our countries. And that's how I grew up. And when I came to the United States as a teenager, I couldn't find the types of tofu I grew up eating. Because I grew up in that generation of farm to table and the interest in, wow, where does it come from? How does it get made? So tofu comes from soybeans, and legumes in general, it's exceptionally healthy. And it's also one of the highest protein vegetable on the planet. So soybeans has the highest protein amongst all the legumes. And for thousands of years, Asians have really rely on these amazing beans to basically make tofu, which is basically a vegetarian plant-based protein. And you know, in the past decade, with the interest in plant-based food, we have an opportunity to reintroduce tofu, which is seeing tremendous adoption as a natural, organic, traditional plant-based protein. So tons of health benefits. It's clean. You know, it literally just takes a mineral and soy milk to make tofu. And it has as much protein as chicken and beef. It's exceptionally versatile from a recipe standpoint. And I think with greater interest, you know, there are greater experiments and greater number of recipes. When we first started out the farmers markets, we made a flavored product. You know, we made the nuggets. We made something that people are familiar with, like, oh my God, this tastes like a chicken nuggets, right? It's got flavors, because people still didn't know quite what to do with a block of white tofu. So, you know, over the years, we've seen that change. For us, I liken it to the adoption of sushi in the US, because when sushi was first introduced, it was perceived as a raw fish. In the West, we don't really eat raw fish. We don't understand it, the freshness of it, you know, the nuance of it. So people started eating sushi only after the tempuras and the multiple rainbow rolls and all these rolls. And so today, however, sushi is basically everywhere. Kids don't even know that sushi is a Japanese food anymore, you know, and people actually prefer to eat sashimi more. So you have a full cycle of adoption where you introduced, and then it went through a westernization of it through the rolls and the hand rolls and such. And now people come full circle back into sashimi. And we see that with tofu as well. You know, people didn't quite know what to do with the white block. So we had to introduce a lot of delicious flavor items, which are still doing really well, like the curry nuggets, Moroccan flavored tofu. So we did a lot of global recipes. We didn't want just to stay with Asian recipes. We have a lot of Asian recipes with tofu, but really try to take tofu out of the Asian recipe realm, go into Middle Eastern, go into North African, South Asian recipes. So the adoption has gone in that direction. There are broader recipe bases for global flavors. But after going through that cycle, we see more and more people buy the plain block and experimenting themselves, which is to me the most exciting part in sort of expanding the base of adoption. So now you see it in more and more menus, and especially during COVID, we see a tremendous adoption when people cook at home and they want recipes. So tofu has really grown like this past couple of years. During COVID and post-COVID, we see, you know, double-digit growth in the category of tofu adoption. So I think in the horizon, there's more adoption, more interest. So we're playing our part in really helping the consumers understand what it is and how to use it. I'm super excited that the Nichi Bei Foundation is bringing back, you know, the Soy and Tofu Festival, because I remember talking many years ago when it was first launched that I was so happy that there was such an event to educate folks in our community. And it's important, right? Again, to connect back to the past, to educate the future. And I think it's not just us being community-minded, but I think it's part of our DNA to educate. So we are relying on the Nichi Bei Foundation and this event to allow us that platform to educate. So more than happy to support it, every year. So we're honored to be able to do that. It is super excited and proud and honored to be a sponsor of the Nichi Bei Foundation's Soy and Tofu Festival. Definitely go to the event. So much education. Be there or be square like a block of tofu.
A big thanks to Minsai of Horosoy. We're so proud to present their tofu products for the festival as well. In this next segment, our office chef, Kota Morikawa, prepares another meal with our trusty office electric skillet, which I'm sure he uses more than his computer these days. Chef Kota shows us how to make Mabo tofu with impossible meat. We are truly grateful to have Impossible Foods support us at the Soy and Tofu Festival. So please enjoy Chef Kota's recipe.
Yahoo! Welcome to Kota's Kitchen. Mabo tofu is today's main dish, and Mabo tofu. Speaking about Mabo tofu, it's about tofu and meat and my favorite green onion. Doesn't sound like healthy to me. Lots of meat. So today we have impossible beef to make healthy Mabo tofu. Here we go. Alright, starting off cooking the ginger and garlic. So putting sesame oil in. I cut it off ginger and garlic ahead of time. Very small crumble type. So mixing all together. Next ingredients will be the impossible beef. It's impossible to open. Really? Are you serious? Some are easy. Some are not. Alright, adding impossible beef. So at the Soy and Tofu Festival, Nichi Bei Foundation is providing the impossible Mabo tofu, and Buddhist Church of San Francisco is also providing the impossible curry. So it is really great to bring somebody you care about and feeding the healthy food at the festival. It's not about sausage, hamburgers. No, it's not like that. It's about healthy food. Yeah, speaking of hamburgers, yes, actually Concord Church of San Francisco is also making Impossible Burger as well. Thanks to the Impossible, meat company, really. It's about the donation. Thank you. All right, so while you're cooking Impossible meat, all right, salt a little bit, not much. All right, so Impossible beef is about to cook. So I'm going to add this minced chopped green onion. For Mabo, you will like to use lots of green part. All right, now green onion is well mixed, and I'm going to add sauces. I'm sorry to use this tablespoon. I have to use it this time. Entry 1, tenmenjang. This is a black bean kind of a paste. And we use this a lot in Mabo. So it's about 6 tablespoons. All right, and then sake, 4 tablespoons. And soy sauce, same, 4 tablespoons. Right, and then oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon. It doesn't come up. Then tobanjang. This is a spicy ingredients. It also depends on how hot you want it to be, so I just use 2 tablespoons. Right, and then lastly, since we are using impossible beef, so I prepare beef stock. So it's a 600 milliliter on this pot today. Right, okay. Right, now things boiling up. I'm adding drained tofu. Since tofu might contain lots of water, so it's better to drain water. And the tofu size is like a dice size. It's like a less than 2 centimeters per square. And for today's guest, I used medium tofu and then 2 blocks for 24 people. Alright, so it's been about 5 minutes cooking tofu. So I'm going to thicken the sauce by using katakuriko or potato starch. Yeah, for this much of mabo, I'm adding about probably 4, 5, 6 tablespoons. Of potato starch and then water. You have to dissolve all the starch into liquid. And then here's the one tip. You don't want to add the potato starch while cooking it. So you want to turn off the heat. The reason is that if you add potato starch while it is cooking, it's going to thicken very, very quick. So only the area you add the potato starch will be the only part getting thick. Right. Then I will just pour in. Then mix first. Right. Then heat up to 300 again. Oh, looks like it was about the right amount of starch. I reduced it to 250, 200, so it doesn't really get burned. All right, looks like it's done. All right, so it's time to eat. So everybody please stop working and let's eat.
Last year, they used it.
Yes, I'm here for Mabo.
Many thanks to Kota for yet another delicious Avis meal. He's always the best at keeping us fed and full. Next up, we share some noteworthy stories from the community news files. So director, let's roll the news bites, please. Roll it. What are you waiting for? Roll it.
Next is our news bites, highlighting events over the past month or so, including stories from the pages of the Nichi Bei News. Let's roll the news bites, please.
So let's roll the news bites. The news bites roll it. On May 4th, the community of Winters unveiled a monument dedicated to the city's Japanese American community. The product of years of work between Japanese American community members and the Winters City Council, the monument commemorated the contributions of the town's Japanese American community, while also acknowledging the injustices incurred against them by their fellow residents. By 1940, some 300 Japanese Americans called Winters home. In the years prior to World War II, white city residents developed a bitter hatred towards Japanese Americans, segregating them to a district known as Block 4, which became the site of Winters Japantown. Shortly after a victory over Japan Day in September 1945, a mysterious fire broke out that destroyed the remaining buildings of Winters Japantown. After the war, so few Japanese Americans felt welcomed in winters that less than 15% of the population returned. The story of the local Japanese American community is also documented in an exhibit in the nearby Winters Museum. More than 300 people trekked to southeastern Colorado May 17th to the 19th to partake in the first pilgrimage to the former Amachi concentration campsite, since it was named a National Historic Site of the National Park Service earlier this year. The event included an official ribbon-cutting ceremony on May 17th, featuring such dignitaries as former U.S. Senator Cory Gardner, current U.S. Senator Michael Bennet, and former U.S. Representative Michael Honda, who was incarcerated as a child in the camp. Pilgrims partook in presentations, visits to a Baroque replica, and a visit to the Amachi Museum run by the Amachi Preservation Society at the Granada School in the nearby town of Granada, Colorado. The pilgrimage included an exchange of descendants of the Amachi camp and descendants of the nearby Sand Creek Massacre historic site. On Memorial Day, representatives of more than 24 Japanese American community organizations gathered at the Japanese Cemetery in Colma, California for the annual Community Memorial Day ceremony. Organized by the Japanese Benevolent Society of California, the event included an interfaith ceremony by representatives of the Japanese American Religious Federation of San Francisco. Consul General of Japan in San Francisco, Yo Osumi, spoke at the event, which honors community pioneers and all who have passed on. The event was preceded by an annual cemetery cleanup, led by the Japanese Cultural and Community Center of Northern California. The Japantown Rainbow Coalition presented the third annual raising of the Progress Pride flag in San Francisco's Japantown on June 1st. The event is held to raise awareness and visibility of the LGBTQ community during Queer, Transgender, Asian Pacific Islander Week and Pride Month. This year, given the reconstruction of the Japantown Peace Plaza, the event was held on Osaka Way, also known as Buchanan Mall, and was followed by a procession to the Konko Church of San Francisco where the flag was raised. The event was sponsored by the San Francisco chapter of the Japanese American Citizens League and the Japantown Community Benefit District. For more up-to-date news like this, please be sure to subscribe to the Nichi Bei News, carrying on a legacy of 125 years of community leadership through media at www.nichibei.org/subscribe. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for our 5th episode of Season 3, featuring stories previewing our annual Soy and Tofu Festival. We hope that you enjoyed what we, and of course all of our featured chefs, cooked up for the cafe menu today. First, we would like to thank everybody for continuing to support our YouTube channel, and hope you enjoy our future content featuring our Japanese and Japanese American community. So please continue to support us by telling your friends, family, and loved ones to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that they don't miss a single episode of our program, as well as video segments from the show and other special videos in between. To stay in the know of more happenings in the Japanese American community, subscribe to the Nichi Bei News at www.nichibei.org/subscribe to make sure that you don't miss a single issue. At this point, we want to give a big thanks to the Henry and Tomoya Takahashi Charitable Foundation for their continued support of the cafe. We greatly appreciate our collaboration with you in finding new ways to engage our Nikkei community. So, that said, let's end this month's segment with tips, which will include our community calendar. Thanks again for joining us at the Nichi Bei Cafe. Join your friends in the Japanese and Japanese American community for Nichi Bei Days with the A's as the Athletics take on Japanese superstar Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Dodgers from Friday, August 2nd through Sunday, August 4th, 2024 at the Oakland Coliseum. Join hundreds in the community cheering on the home team and reigning American League MVP Ohtani. Joining Ohtani on the Dodgers is rookie pitching sensation Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Discounted tickets and special events are as follows. Lower box seats will be available for purchase for $90 on Friday and Saturday and $85 on Sunday. Field reserve tickets will be available for purchase for $85 on Friday and Saturday and $70 on Sunday. There will also be a fireworks showcase after Saturday's game and a tailgate party before Sunday's game from 10:30 a.m. A portion of the ticket proceeds will benefit the Nichi Bei Foundation, publishers of the Nichi Bei News Japanese American community newspaper and presenter of various educational programs and events. For more information and tickets, please visit www.nichibei.org/athletics.
Impossible beef. It's impossible to open. Really? Are you serious? Oh, no. Got it. It doesn't come out. There you go.
Hit the bottle, man.
Right.